It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews. Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Pros, answer. Yes! Caught! Touchdown! They did it!
Welcome on in, everyone, to the Full Court Press. Jason Walker here with you. Eric Frandsen should be en route, hopefully soon. He went up to Utah State football practice. He should have arrived about 10 or 15 minutes ago, as he's going to be interviewing some players. I know it's the bye week, and typically we would do these on Tuesday, but we were trying to figure out a time we could go up and have a quick interview anyway after one of the practices. Just to have some, more of the Know Your Aggies, more player interviews, get a chance to talk to some of these guys during their bye week as they try and prepare for a big game against Boise next week, as they'll obviously be off this weekend. I was at Utah State men's basketball practice earlier this afternoon. I got a chance to see a little bit. They ended a little earlier than I was expecting, so didn't get a chance to see them play as much. Did get a chance to talk to head coach Jared Calhoun, as well as a couple of players, Abin Gadarazzi, the center, as well as Drake Allen. So a couple of newcomers, although as you'll hear in the interview, Drake Allen, one of the captains for the men's basketball team. So he's taking on a big leadership role. The guy who's going to take a leadership role. He's going to have a big role on the court this season. Really excited to see what he brings, as well as everyone on the team. And so kind of a nice chance to, get back in touch with the team. Of course, we've been having a chance to talk to one of the players or coaches every week here for the most part for about a month and a half. So really haven't ever gotten too much out of touch with the basketball team. But as we're getting closer and closer, it's, time to get more and more excited about men's basketball, what they can potentially do, women's basketball getting started up. So, and we'll have to make sure we get head coach Wes Brooks and or one of his players on the, either talk to him after practice or even get him on the show, because that's another aspect to get really excited about. I think, with men's basketball, it's kind of continuing the success, but Wes Brooks is trying to bring a new era of basketball to the women's side, where they've struggled a little bit there. So we're going to kind of lead with this audio that we got probably about 18, 20 minutes worth of audio between Coach Calhoun and a couple of players. So we'll go ahead and kind of lead with that, and we'll react to that as well. A bit of a programming note, we will have a slightly shortened show, and I do mean slightly, where we'll be out of here at, I believe, 5:42. So we'll lose the last segment, and we'll cut that third segment in the second hour a little bit short. If you want to join the show via the Full Court Press text line, feel free to do so. The number is 435-339-0321. You can join myself, and when Eric gets back, you'll be able to make fun of him for missing part of the show as well. 9315 texting in saying, Eric skipped the start of the show again. If it's for real, then he will let it slide, but if not, then out with the taser, fire, and pitchforks. Eric, as I said, up at football practice, so getting a lot of audio from some of the players and coaches. But let's go ahead and start with hearing what head coach Jared Calhoun had to say as they restarted practice here for the men's basketball team. First thoughts, restarting practice, I guess, for you guys?
Yeah, exciting for our players. They've worked really hard this summer. Obviously, having a foreign trip, we're a little ahead of the curve. But I thought all in all, guys were really, really locked in. We went for about, we started at 12, ended at 2:30, but we had about 20, 30 minutes of film. So about 2 hours, but I thought our effort was really good.
What are the biggest areas of focus for you guys in this? You've had a chance to go on the European trip, learn a little bit more about you guys. So what's the biggest emphasis here in camp here?
Yeah, I think obviously there's two sides of the ball. Offensively, just to continue to expand on the playbook. But execute, right? I mean, that's what you want on offense. Continue to understand spacing, continue to understand cutting, screening, different screening angles. I think we really are willing passers. I have the utmost respect for our guys. They're really trying to play the right way. They make the extra pass, but just continue to teach them our offense. And then I think defensively, keep people off the glass. Defensive rebounding is going to be critical for us this year. So we started practice today with some toughness drills. I thought the guys responded. And just continue to understand our philosophy on defense, right? And I think all in all, these guys have picked up on a lot of concepts, but it's just building these daily habits. Things aren't going to happen right away, right? It's a process, and a lot of these guys are, result-oriented people. We've got to understand it's a process to becoming a great team and being an elite team. So just enjoying the process daily and doing the little things.
So what's that process going to look like as far as getting this team gelled together? A lot of new faces, a lot of guys who haven't played together all that much. Like, what do you feel like the timeline is for when they're going to be able to really know how to play together?
I think we'll have a better feel here in a couple weeks. We'll do an inter-squad scrimmage. The guys have voted. Drake, Ian, and Mason are our captains, so they're going to be a big part of it, right? We meet with those guys every Monday and really come up with a game plan for the week. They've done a masterful job leading these guys in huddles and just the overall connectivity. We'll go on a team retreat in 2 weeks up to Bear Lake, about 48 hours, really learn each other a little bit more. We do some team-building activities, and then the following week we'll have Weber State. And then the following week we'll have Oregon, right? So that's all part of the process as we, go along our journey and figure out our rotations and, who's going to play which positions. But I really like our mindset daily. We have great connectivity and a great mindset.
How much competition do you expect in some of those position battles with the guards and the wings and the bigs and all that?
I think we're really, really stacked at a lot of positions. Dayton and Drake really push each other, make each other better. Ian Mace, Braden Housley's in that conversation. Dexter Cano's out about 2 weeks. He hurt his wrist, so we're going to, Brent and our doctors are going to hold him out 2 weeks. May or may not play against Weber, but we'll get him there definitely by Oregon. He's going to be in that mix. And I thought Isaac Davis, for a first-time freshman, came out today and really played well. Carson Templin's been good. Auburn just keeps getting better. Tucker Anderson's a guy that has great upside, playing at a little higher level competition, but he's done a great job of gaining weight. So we have a lot of guys at a lot of different positions, and I think that's what will make us a deep team.
So Isaac, this is his first time really playing a lot because he wasn't playing during the European trip, right? So this is kind of his first chance to get out there and play against his teammates?
Jason, I thought he was phenomenal. Yeah, he got nothing this summer. He got hurt. So he missed a ton, right? And I think now he's really coming into his own. You got to give the kid credit. He's lost 25 pounds. He was, 280-something. He's about 256, 255. Would like to get another probably 5 to 8 pounds. That'll naturally come off with practice. But he gives us something we don't have. I mean, he loves physical contact around the rim. He's an elite athlete. He's got a very, very high IQ around the basket, too. He makes rim reads, really passes out of double teams and things. So I think he can really help us.
So I got to ask you about the announcement by the Pac-12. What do you guys think about that?
I listen to your podcast. I told you that. I love pods, so I'm always trying to find a good pod. I think you guys do a wonderful job. Really excited, right? I think there was a period for about 72 hours. I think just the uncertainty as a college basketball coach. I was in a one-bid league. It's really, really stressful, right? So now going into the Pac-12, I think it has, a brand. It has a name. There's a national recognition with it. So I think, it's helped us. It'll really help us in recruiting, right? Because a lot of the kids that we'll recruit are going to be from the West Coast. So travel's easy. Parents can go see, their son. And I think that's for all sports, right? Really, we try to really lock down a radius, within a 6-hour radius, and then also state to state, right? We want our brand to be really strong and powerful in the West. I'm really interested. I thought you guys made some great points with, there's rumors of Gonzaga and different teams. It's going to be really interesting where this goes. But it's just uncertain times. College sports have changed so much, as we all know. We're learning every day. There's new things going on around us. We've got to be forward thinking. And I think, going to the Pac-12 is a great, great step.
You mentioned that recruiting. You guys have got, I don't know how much you can comment on recruits, but you've got some big commits in the last few weeks. Seems like an exciting time for Utah State basketball.
The only thing I could say on recruiting, I have to talk in general, but I think we have a great brand, right? I think I have a great staff, very, very young, very energetic staffs, willing to go anywhere in the country to recruit. I think it all starts with relationships, momentum. You have to, take advantage of momentum, right? Pac-12, regular season champion, won an NCAA tournament game, style of play. I think kids like playing for us. I think they like our style. So if you want to win a national championship, you got to have a top 25 class in the country recruiting. It starts and ends with talent, but then you got to have the connectivity, the coaching, the discipline that can lead you to a Final Four, a national title. So I like where our coaches are at. I love to recruit. I love selling this program, and I thank all the coaches before us because this thing is a powerful brand, and it's only going to get more powerful.
Talk a little bit more about was there a noticeable difference when you've had that experience of playing in Europe together today from that first day?
Yeah, if you watch us play, and you guys are more than welcome to come in and watch this. I know you got other sports, but you see we know how to play with each other. I think guys are starting to understand their strengths. We still make some mental mistakes, but, we had 3 games. We had 10 practices. We were able to put our system in, so we're a little further ahead than most teams. Like today I had to get adjusted to the spectrum. We only have 2 baskets. I'm not used to that. When I went to practice plan, I had these drills that we were going to do 3 or 4 different shooting stations, and we only have 2 baskets, right? So you're learning something every day on the job, and it's the same thing with our players. They're going to keep learning, keep getting better. But you see guys have played with each other for those 3 games, so I think it helped.
Probably already commented on the starting on the lane.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine.
Just the first day getting going again. It's
excitement. You're 42 days away, 30 practices in 42 days. We're going to bring back Aggie Madness. I think it's going to be a great event. Hopefully we can pack that. I know our department is really going to sell that, Wes being a new coach and myself. But it's really about the players. We've got a lot of seniors. This is their last go-around. We want them to get acclimated to the Logan faithful and the fans and the herd. So that night will be special, and then we'll continue on just getting better week to week. But there's nothing better than the first day of practice. It's going to be here really, really fast. So, the best thing we can do as coaches is push these guys really, really hard, love on these guys, and spend a lot of time with them to make sure they're ready.
So have you not been in the spectrum practice-wise?
We do both, but, you only have 2 baskets, right? So it's very hard to get a number of shots when you have 2 baskets.
They used to have that.
Yeah, it seems like it's a lot of work, but maybe we can do that. Because we got to shoot the ball.
Coach, this is a program, though, over the last couple of years, a lot of turnaround both in the coaching staff and the players. But this group has a good core that's coming back from last year. What have you seen from them so far?
Yeah, you look at Mason, you look at Fish, and you look at Ian, you look at Jackson Smith, you look at Carson Templin. All 5 guys have improved. All 5 guys know what it takes. They're kind of the foundational pieces. A lot of teams in the Mountain West don't have 3 starters back on a 28-win team. So we've got to really, really, trust them. We have to follow them in certain times. They have to have a voice, and they've been great. So starts with those guys, but we also have a new group of guys that are seniors that you have to blend, right? And that's really what the college basketball process is, how we're going to build it. We're going to try to bring in quite a few high school guys, right? This is going to be a big class. So we want to do a little bit of both, but we want to grow and we want to get old with our group. And I think, that's the challenging part about college basketball. But those guys are a staple of this program.
You haven't had much time with them, but with some of those new players, what are the older guys doing to kind of set the tone, show them what it's like to be an Aggie?
Mason just brings it every day. He's been awesome, whether it's offensive rebounding, driving the ball, playing defense, using his voice. Ian Martinez, I don't know if I've seen a guy change so much in really 5 months. Just getting around him, he's kind of quiet. He's just a wonderful kid. He's really, really, raised his level of leadership to new heights. And it's only going to help him when he goes and plays, whether it's in the NBA or professional basketball. So there's a sense of urgency, I would say, with Ian. And Drake Allen's been awesome, right? Drake Allen is a guy that, is a Utah kid that, he understands the tradition here. He understands the standard at Utah State, and he's done a wonderful job. So for him to get voted on as a captain by his peers, I think that speaks volumes of what he's done here early on, and he'll be really good in that department as well.
So who are your captains, Drake?
It's going to be Ian Martinez, Mason Falslev, and Drake Allen. Yeah, and the players voted. Coaches didn't have a vote. See you guys.
All right, thanks, Coach.
So, yeah, that was Utah State men's basketball head coach Jared Calhoun talking with the media after their first practice. Do I get to call their first official practice? Because obviously they were practicing before. They had like a scrimmage. They went on the European trip. So it's like, this obviously isn't the first time these guys are playing organized basketball together. It's really a restart for them. And I think that's ultimately going to be huge for them. The fact they've got to play together, because they've kind of fast-tracked some of the early aspects of the time that they need to be able to gel together on and off the court. And so that's going to be incredibly valuable, in an age where every team seems to have 7, 8, 9 newcomers. The teams that can, gel together the fastest will, they'll do the best. I'm kind of stealing that from Drake Allen. That was kind of at the end of the interview that we had with him. So I'm kind of stealing his thunder a little bit. But there's certainly some interesting things in there. Obviously, one injury note with Dexter Akano, going to be out for a couple of weeks. But, and as I watched, pretty much everybody was playing. He was the only one who wasn't, although he was still on the court. He just had a brace on his wrist. And so that's something that's going to limit him and keep him out for a couple of weeks. And then I thought it was interesting with Isaac Davis, where he's, dropping a lot of weight, coming out of high school. You gotta drop some of that baby fat, and has clearly been, doing very well in getting in playing shape, getting in college basketball playing shape. Obviously, he was able to do quite a bit, an impressive athlete given his size, carrying a little bit of that weight in high school, but he's going to have to drop a lot of that to be successful in college. And it seems like he's well on his way to doing that. And Coach Calhoun clearly happy with the progress he's made so far. And it's interesting to watch Isaac Davis. I'll say the one thing that impressed me is, since I didn't get a ton of time to watch practice, they were running sprints kind of at the very end there. But Isaac Davis, my goodness, seemed like he was faster than some of the guards he was going up against. Now, I wasn't watching too closely. I don't know if the guards were, if they were going full speed, but it was pretty crazy where Isaac Davis is an impressive athlete for his size in some similar ways that Great Osibor was. And you see this at its super high end. You see these guys that just have this that are big and you don't think they're quick or fast, and suddenly they are. Zion Williamson is kind of the embodiment of that on the high end. Great Osibor was very similar in that he's so big, but he's still fast, and that makes him really hard to guard. And I think Isaac Davis has that similar potential, at that power forward spot. A guy who can also play small ball 5. He has that versatility, the size and speed and power that he's able to utilize. I don't know if it'll be a year one thing where he'll make a big impact. There's a lot of guys above him on that depth chart that it's going to make it pretty hard for him to get, playing time and play a huge role. But you never know. Sometimes these freshmen come in and they're just too good to sit down. I don't know if they try and redshirt him, because maybe they won't be able to. Who knows? That's something they're going to have to learn and figure out, especially because Isaac didn't have as much of a chance to play, or he didn't have any chance to play with that European trip because he was out with an injury. So few interesting things to note, and we'll keep following this, obviously, as basketball season gets closer and closer. I tell you what, why don't we take a quick break? We've got the audio from Avin Gadarazzi and Drake Allen. So let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll transition right into that, hear what those two players had to say about the start of practice and about how things are going with the team right now. So we'll have that next here on 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
What is love? Love is what we live for. Love is timeless, never-ending. Love is when you say your name with hers and it has that special ring to it. At Jarek's Fine Jewelry, we know what love is. Our fine collection of engagement rings feature a variety of diamonds and colorful styles.
And if you can't find your perfect ring,
Jarek's Fine Jewelry will help custom design one that is the perfect fit. When it's love, it's Jarek's Fine Jewelry.
Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special. Make it Jarek's.
Are you looking for compassionate and reliable care for yourself or a loved one? Look no further than Aegis Home Health and Hospice. I'm Tom Sherlock, a licensed social worker, part of the dedicated team of professionals committed to meeting the needs of our community. Voted best in Northern Utah 2 years in a row, we pride ourselves on delivering exceptional service that you can depend on. We're here to ensure comfort and dignity every step of the way. When it comes to your health, choose the agency that Northern Utah trusts the most. Choose Aegis. Visit myaegis.com or call today 435-723-9000.
Experience Barrel and Stave on Federal Avenue, where good food, good drinks, and good people meet, using local ingredients to create the most delicious taste possible. Barrel and Stave is a cozy cocktail bar offering a large selection of wines, whiskeys, and cocktails, along with an amazing selection of bar bites and weekly chef specials, guaranteed to tantalize your taste buds. With handmade pasta nights every Tuesday and Thursdays that offer $2 off drafts. Come see what you've been missing. Barrel and Stave, Tuesday through Saturday evenings on Federal Avenue in Logan.
Fall is here. This is Mark at the Sportsman on Main Street. I invite you into our amazing store to see the new fall collection of amazing clothing, shoes, and outerwear for women and men. We have brands like Cool, Fiore, Fjallraven, and we have brought in some new brands from Europe that you will love. Trust me, you will look truly unique in whatever you buy from the Sportsman. Come in and let us take care of you. You'll be glad you did. For over 75 years, come and see us at the Sportsman on Main in downtown Logan with tons of parking in the back.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. I have a little bit of a bone to pick with online bed-in-a-box mattresses. If value is the combination of price and quality, these beds are not a good value. They cost about $1,000 and they last about 3 years. That's not a very good ratio. At My Mattress, you can get a $799 Sealy Posturepedic that will last you 10 plus years. The best value is at My Mattress. Isn't it time to sleep exceptionally?
Now here's a concept. You earmark 1/3 of your profits to go back into the community, to local charities. Dex Imaging does that. My name is Anthony Wagoner, and I'd like to share with you what I know about Dex, the company that acquired Valley Office Systems. Dex Imaging is committed to continuing quality customer service while raising the bar to become a strong community partner. Join us in creating the brightest image for tomorrow. Contact us at deximaging.com.
The Aggies are #1 here. The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press as we keep things rolling here. If you missed the start of the show, we had an interview with Utah State men's basketball head coach Jared Calhoun. Had a chance to talk with him after the team's first kind of restart of practice as they get ready for a season that's just over a month away, as their first game is against Alcorn State, at least first regular season game against Alcorn State. They'll kick off the season there. We also had a chance to talk with a couple of the players. Abin Gadarazzi, the 6'11" center, a newcomer from Stetson. I'm hoping I'm not mixing him up with another player. Had a good season, a career year. I think he averaged close to, or did average, a double-double with Stetson. So let's hear from him and what he had to say about the start or restart of practice at Utah State.
All right, Abin, thoughts on first day practice, or I guess restarting practice, really?
Sure. I thought it was a great day. We competed very hard. We're a very competitive team. And everybody was locked in from the jump. We know we all have the same goal. We want to win. And everybody was bought into the coaching. And so it was a very great day. And I got to keep going tomorrow.
What's been the biggest adjustment for you coming to Utah State and trying to gel with this new team?
So the biggest adjustment was the elevation. Coming from like sea level, basically, here in the mud, the first 3 weeks was kind of rough. And then I don't know if there was much of adjustment basketball-wise because the coaches really trying to play us to our strength. We play a lot of pickup with our teammates, so we really got to know each other. I played against Dayton and Tucker in the ASUN conference, so it was pretty quick to build a relationship, and a chemistry on the court. And we just built a great brotherhood outside the court as well, which helped us get along on the court, which made things easy.
So what's that room of bigs like for you guys? You and Isaac and Pablo, just all those guys. What's it like, with those bigs?
It's great, man. Just I really like those guys outside the court. On the court, we compete very hard. Like I just told Isaac, I love to compete against him. He's a great guy. He plays hard. And, it just brings us confidence for our forwards because we know we're going to have depth and be ready to. We got guys that can shoot, so we're going to be able to play anybody, really.
How big was that trip to Europe, being able to play some games actually?
Oh, it was awesome. First off, to strengthen our relationships outside the court because we really just hang out, travel together, do some outside the court activities, get on the jet skis and everything. So it was very awesome. That's really, after that trip, we really could call each other brothers, And then it really gave us more time to understand the coach's project, how they want the defense, the offense, because then we had more hours during the summer, which usually we only get 4 hours on the court. Here we had 10 hours. So it really helped us understand more their project and build chemistry. So when we came back from the break, we was already on the same page. And Italy and Croatia was just two beautiful countries, beautiful cultures. So I'm very glad I got to experience that with my brothers.
You mentioned shooting. If I recall right, you haven't taken a whole lot of threes in your career. Is that something you expect to maybe start here at Utah State? It seems like everyone's shooting on the team right now.
Absolutely. That's one thing Coach talked to me about on my visit here. He want me to be able to play free. He tells us we got to play green. When we open, we got to shoot it. So I've really been working on my shot. I took 2 shots in my college career, but now I've been working on it to be able to be confident and be in threat out there, for sure.
Just curious, the excitement level over the last kind of 10 days, 2 weeks, there's been a lot of, at least from the fan side, a lot of excitement with the recruits, the whole conference realignment. Has any of that been felt in the program, or has it just been kind of business as usual?
I don't know about the other guys, but me personally, I'm locked in on, because I know it's a long season. So I'm focused to do my best each and every day, take one day at a time. And it was awesome to get the recruits in here, see the volleyball game in the spec. For me, it was the first time seeing. I think it's the closest that I can see from the basketball games, because everybody's talking about the spec is getting crazy during basketball games. So, no, it was awesome. But I think we have big goals. We want to do great things this season. So we focused on one day at a time. We do the best one day after another.
They showing you any videos of what the Spectrum's like when it gets full?
They have. I'm so excited. I cannot wait, because I've experienced that my last year, where it was the first year I seen over 1,000 people in the gyms, which for me was crazy. And so when I saw the video, I'm like, man, this is why I crossed the ocean for this, to live those type of moments, and hopefully I will give the fan a show that they would love.
All right, so that was Utah State center, men's basketball center, Abin Gadarazzi, talking with the media afterwards. Certainly, I think it's the first chance, I don't know if you'd had a chance to talk to him yet. I certainly can't remember exactly which players we've had a chance to talk to or not. But, yeah, a player that's expected to make a big role. We'll see if he starts. I don't know. There's going to be kind of a battle between him and Isaac Johnson as they'll look for a starting. Of course, they're both going to play big roles with this team. But, yeah, certainly worth watching him and the way he's able to impact the team, where he was a dominant finisher, absurd percentages. Literally one of the best in the country at finishing around the rim. And obviously taking a step up in terms of level of competition, but I think he's going to be able to make an impact in the Mountain West. He'll need to add a bit of bulk, but I think if he's able to do that, he'll be able to make that big impact. But let's hear now from one of the point guards, one of the many point guards. This is a backcourt that has a lot of talent, both at point guard and at kind of the off-ball guard position with Mason Falslev, Ian Martinez, and also one of the team captains. You'll get to hear what how he feels about that and the role he plans on taking with the Aggies. So here's Drake Allen.
All right, I guess just thoughts, practice restarting for you guys. What's it been like?
It's been awesome, man. I think that we're all been kind of antsy. You know, we get a couple of workouts before we went on our foreign trip, and so we've all been kind of waiting to get back. So today was the first day we really got to get to work, so it was really fun.
Did the European trip kind of make that, feeling worse? Like we played, got to wait again, then get restarted?
Yeah, it was really nice when the European trip came around because you're like, we're playing games already in July, right? It was amazing. And then, in August, and then we kind of got back and then it slowed down again. So it's got a little bit of a teaser, but, we're excited to be back on the floor again.
Coach mentioned you're one of the captains. I guess what's that like for you, getting that honor, even as one of the newcomers, being one of the captains?
Yeah, I'm very blessed, and, I don't take the leadership role lightly. I'm one of the 3 leaders that are here for the first time, a transfer, so I don't take that lightly at all. I think that, it shows the respect that people have for me, and it also shows that I respect these guys a lot as well, and I'm going to do the best that I can to help lead these guys to be the best that we can be.
What are your thoughts on the backcourt and your teammates back there, especially with Ian and Mason?
Yeah, we're stacked. I know that, Utah State last year probably is not the same as this year. We have a lot more depth this year than they did last year. You're going to see a lot more guys on the court, and which means that we can play harder when we're out there on the court because we know that we have someone behind us ready to give us a little break. So it's really exciting, and Ian and Mason have done all the things they need to do to be successful already. They've been to March Madness, so we're kind of picking their brains a little bit as far as, what they did last year to get there, and we're taking what they have to say and we're implementing it the same way that they did last year.
Did you cross paths with Mason any time before?
I never have. No, I never crossed paths with Mason. I knew of him just because, AAU basketball and when we were younger and stuff, but never met him, never had the opportunity to play against him or with him. So, but Mason's the best. Playing with him, playing against him, either way, he's a great competitor, and he kind of leads this group with the energy and the competitiveness that we need.
Is there any crossing of paths with any of the guys who are hearing you? Because I think there's Mason, you, Braden, Isaac. I think we're all in the state of Utah playing ball at some point.
Yeah, me and Braden me and Housey, we were at SU together my sophomore year, his freshman year. So we've been around each other for a while now. And now being able to be back here again and compete against each other and with each other, it's been really exciting. And Isaac Johnson, big fish. We played each other in high school. So that's fun to be able to play with each other now. It sucked to play against him because you guys know he's a pretty good basketball player. So it's fun to play with him rather than against him.
I feel like this offensive style kind of complements your style of play. Is that something you feel like has been kind of natural for you playing in this system?
Yeah, I think that's one of the big reasons that I decided to come to Utah State. With Coach Calhoun, he explained that we're going to play fast. We're going to spray the ball ahead. We're going to play fast and quick and smart offense, and I feel like that complements my game very well. And then along on the defensive side, getting out, getting steals, playing fast, being aggressive, I think that plays to my strengths as well. So I'm very excited about that.
This group's got a lot of kind of a good mix between newcomers and also kind of the old core. Mm-hmm. What have you seen? What have you felt so far? Now combining those two.
Yeah, it's a new dynamic for sure. There are some positive and negatives, but a lot more positives. The positive is that we get to help these young guys get better every day. And the other positive is that old guys like me, the young guys bring this energy and this juice that it's hard to get some days, when you're tired and the days are long. These guys come in and they push you to another level that you thought, that I'm learning that I can reach new levels every day. And that's thanks to these young guys. So it's been really fun to teach them, but also learn from them as well.
So what's it kind of like with, the kind of modern landscape of college basketball where there's, you talk about how many newcomers each team has. Everyone always has like 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. You've transferred a couple times now. Like, what's it like with these teams that are full of newcomers? What's it like trying to gel together year after year?
Yeah, it's the most difficult part. I think, the teams that have the most chemistry when that first game comes around are the teams that usually the most successful in those first couple of weeks. I feel like we're doing a really good job. I think that our team does and our coaches do a good job of getting us together off the court. Even though we all don't live together, we're still together a couple times a week just because we have really good guys. And, it helps on the court when you do things like that off the court.
So that's Utah State men's basketball guard Drake Allen, and someone who it seems he's taking on a big role. I know there's questions about
will Drake Allen start? Will Dayton Albury start? And maybe Drake is, he's one of the team captains, and maybe he'll end up getting that, starting spot, so to speak. But definitely something that's come out from the team so far is the depth. And I always got to kind of hesitate. Hello? Okay. I think we just went off air for half a second there. Everything froze on me. All right, we need to do a roll call on the text line. Am I still around? 435-339-0321. My board froze at error. Something's disconnected. So I need to make sure that we're still on here, still recording. It says I'm live. My board says I'm live and that everything's good, but hard to tell. Okay. Eric Frandsen texts me, says they can hear me. I had a heart attack for a second there, guys. Everything froze. I tell me if I went dead, it went silent for a couple of seconds. Now my train of thoughts all over the place. But yeah, that was a pretty tricky moment. But yeah, so the thing with the depth, I think that's where I was going on, where the depth is something that, I hear this every season, every team. It's not unique to the Aggies. I'm not trying to rag on Utah State fans, because you hear this every year and you say, all right, this team is deeper than ever. We're going to play 10, 11 guys. And, sometimes you do see teams that play 10, 11 guys. I remember Stephen F. Austin last year when the Aggies played them. They were, that was a team where nobody averaged more than 22 points or 22 minutes per game. And everyone in the rotation averaged somewhere between 6 and 10 points per game. And, you see these teams say we have so much depth and every position is stacked, and and then you get into the season, they're playing a 7-8 man rotation. You get into an NCAA tournament game and 7 guys play, and it's kind of a thing that at this point I just got to kind of wait and see. And I don't mean to say that to just say that everyone is just being too optimistic, or the coach speak and the player speak, and the kind of sound bites you tend to get at the beginning of camp, but it's something that I want to make sure I see. Now, there are things that make me believe that this is more likely they have a lot of this depth, namely because I forget the exact number off the top of my head, but you look at the amount of transfers they brought in, every single one of them was a full-time starter. And they brought in 7 or 8 of them, Tucker Anderson, Abin Gadarazzi, Drake Allen, Braden Housley, Dexter Akano. Go down the list. They have, it was somewhere between 7 and 9 guys that were full-time starters on their team last year, including guys that they are bringing back: Isaac Johnson, Mason Falslev, and Ian Martinez. All 3 of those are full-time starters. Add the, bunch of the guys they added in the transfer portal who were, I don't think Dexter Akano was a full-time starter. I think he started half or 2/3 the games that he was in last year. So that's something that makes me believe that, and to some degree, at least think it's not completely crazy, because they do have a lot of guys that were starters at a Division I level and played at a fairly high level individually, and or were on pretty good teams. So on paper, you can see that, but you do want to make sure you see it on the court as well. And that's going to be one of the things to watch with this team early on is, okay, how much depth do they have? They have it theoretically and on paper with how many guys they have as starters. And maybe you see a guy like Pavel Stasic, he didn't play a lot, but he was at Gonzaga. The transfer down, who is able to maybe get more playing time if he's able to find a kind of an open spot in the rotation to fight for. And, maybe he's able to make a jump. Maybe you see one of the, a freshman like Isaac Davis make a big jump into the rotation. Carson Templin wasn't really a starter last year, but he was in the rotation. Does he make a jump up? You could see that depth there, but I got to see it before I believe it. I'll give it some credence because there is evidence to back it up with what little evidence we do have, it being the off season. But it's something I'm hoping to see it, because that would be kind of the most fantastic thing, because
a lot of times when you have these deep rotations, the story of the team is, well, we may not have like the guy, the leading scorer, but everyone can score like 8 points. But then you see those teams kind of get in trouble when they need a bucket and nobody really knows how to go out and get one. But the Aggies have those guys. They have Ian Martinez. They have Mason Falslev. You might even see Dayton Albury become something of that guy. And if they have depth on top of that, then it's a team that's going to contend for the Mountain West Championship and likely be the best team, if that's the case. A few texts on the Full Court Press text line. Thank you to 5452 and 8968 for getting on the roll call. Eric Frandsen as well helping me make sure that we're on air and we're not having any drastic technical difficulties. But 1623 texting in a little bit earlier saying, I saw a guy at Walmart earlier this summer who I thought I'd recognize, but couldn't put my finger on exactly who it was. After we made eye contact, kind of awkwardly, I realized it was Coach Calhoun. To my credit, he wasn't wearing any USU gear. Yeah, it can be tricky to spot some guys. Like usually the way you spot an athlete is they're wearing a bunch of athletic gear. Like even if you don't recognize who they are, like you can kind of tell that, or they're taller. That's mainly how you recognize the basketball players. I happened to see a couple of them at a football game just outside one of the north gates, and happened to recognize them partly because I've seen their faces and pictures and been at some of these practices. But you also spot them because they're really tall, and it's like, oh, hey, that's you. Recognize you because you're 7 feet tall. But yeah, I early on, I may not have been able to pick up on Coach Calhoun. Now that I've met him in person a few times, I'd probably be able to recognize him just by seeing him. But yeah, when it was early in the summer, it's like you've seen him once or twice, and you may not recognize them right away. 9315 saying, let's see. So I think it's not just farts in the wind speak when it comes to depth. I think it's more how they gel together. So also they have to learn a new way of a new coach. And also we see some results in the Euro games this summer. Yeah, I think, we'll see how much it is farts in the wind when it comes to depth. Because, sometimes it can be hype and sometimes it is for real. There were things that I like to hype up about last year's team and they ended up being true, although they were more true than I let on. I said the team was going to win 20 games and they won 28, 26, 20, somewhere in the 27, 28 range. So they did a lot better than I was expecting them to. But really quick, we got to take a break. We are going to get around to some of the big news of the day. The Mountain West holding ranks. The Aggies are going to the Pac-12, or the Mountain West, where the Pac-12 was hoping to be able to skim a little more off of the Mountain West. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to do so. And maybe one of the leftover targets they were maybe hoping for as maybe a football-only member, that's not going to be available for them either. We'll probably get on that in the second hour just so we have a chance to dive into it more fully, kind of at the top of the hour, sink our teeth into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to preview a couple of games, Utah State soccer and volleyball, starting off conference play today. One of them in Cache Valley. Volleyball going to be playing in Club Estes. Utah State soccer, number 10 team in the country. They'll be on the road taking on San Jose State. We'll get to a little bit more preview of both of those games coming up next.
When grid failures and severe weather cause power outages, your business might take a hit, or at home, you could lose your refrigerated food storage. Generac Standby Power Solutions help ensure an uninterrupted power supply. Generac is the #1 brand of standby generators. Get yours today from Golden Spike Electric, your trusted source for safety and security. Golden Spike Electric, powering your peace of mind. Online at gsegenerators.com or call 257-3016. They also service other models.
Overwhelmed by Social Security and Medicare options? October 2nd at 6 p.m., Adams Wealth Advisors and Senior Benefits Insurance Services invite you to a free seminar that'll simplify these crucial decisions. Experts Jaden May, National Social Security Advisor, and Sherry Crosby, Licensed Medicare Agent, will help optimize your Social Security benefits and help guide you through Medicare options and costs. October 2nd, 6 p.m., come learn your options with Social Security and Medicare. Go to adamswealthadvisors.com/SS to reserve your spot today. Understanding your options makes all the difference.
Les Olson IT's structured cabling is second to none. Tired of old and inefficient cabling? Have an upgrade or remodel planned? Building a new network from the ground up? We offer the very best in low-voltage cabling installation, including data, phone, fiber optic, and more. Ask us how to get your free consultation today.
Les Olsen IT.
S.E. Needham Jewelers is where Utah gets engaged. Couples throughout the state buy their rings from S.E. Needham Jewelers because of our low prices, extensive ring selection, and extraordinary benefits and services with financing available. Go to seneedham.com to learn more. We have many unique and beautiful engagement rings starting at $500. You'll find affordable engagement rings with our integrity price guarantee. This is why we are where Utah gets engaged. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Interviews, analysis, and a little bit of fun mixed in. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
435-339-0321. That's the number to text to join the Full Court Press via the Full Court Press text line. We welcome Eric Frandsen back to the show. Got to turn your mic on.
Or just text Jason directly when the audio goes out.
Yeah. So what did that sound like? Clearly you were listening.
Well, I had at that moment I was plugging my phone into my car as I'm in the parking lot. I wasn't doing this while I was driving. I'm not breaking any rules. Actually, I'd had it plugged in and I was at a stoplight and I was just checking something because I was trying to download some of the audio that I'd just done from player interviews. And the radio went silent. I thought, I think I must have done something weird with the way I plugged this in. And so I'm like, radio, turn it up. And I unplug it. And like, wait, there's still... I check another station. Well, that station's playing, and I come back to the fan just as you would come back on. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it just kind of froze on me. I couldn't hear myself in my headphones.
Disappeared for a second.
It was kind of weird there. But, so we'll have that audio likely for tomorrow's show.
Yes.
Unless you feel like you have it ready. And we've got other plans for the second hour.
Right.
We'll also have Pick 6, kind of a look at ESPN if we have time for it, because we're going to be diving into a lot of Utah State Mountain West news, kind of start of the second hour. Again, programming note, I don't think I mentioned this since the start of the show. It will be slightly shorter in the second hour. We've got Thursday Night Football that you'll be able to hear on the Fan. And programming there will start at 5:45, so we'll cut out about 5:42. So we'll basically miss about one segment there.
Cowboys and the Giants tonight here on the Fan.
There we go. NFC East matchup. An NFC East matchup of a team that's one team at least that isn't really in the East.
No.
But that's just kind of the way it is.
That's how it rolls.
That's the way it is with some of these divisions in the NFL. 9-3-1-5 saying, who is this Eric guy you speak of? I thought this was Gary Coleman's cousin late to the show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So really quick, let's get into Utah State volleyball, Utah State soccer, both of them getting going today in Mountain West play. Volleyball, bit of a rough start there in the season, playing a tough non-conference schedule, bit of a rebuilding roster, a lot of newcomers, a lot of young players. They've started the year 3-8, but capping non-conference play with a win over Weber State. They'll be taking on Colorado State tonight in Club Estes. First serve there at 7 p.m. is the time for that one. I haven't seen what Colorado State's record is. I know they were one of the teams I think projected at the top, although San Jose State, I think, is undefeated in volleyball right now. They're absolutely doing crazy.
Wow.
Colorado State 4-6, kind of similar where they played a pretty brutal non-league schedule. And so a couple of teams looking to start off Mountain West play in the right way. Utah State soccer also kicking off Mountain West play, or Mountain Plest play, or Mountain Plest way, as I might say it, as they take on San Jose State. 7:30 kick there, so a little delayed. Both these games going to be on the Mountain West Network. That's where a lot of these games end up once they get into league play, is the Mountain West Network, so you can stream it. I think there's probably apps for TVs as well. Pretty easy to get the Mountain West Network. So that's probably the game I'll be paying attention to. I really enjoy watching this soccer team.
Yeah.
Not to deride the volleyball team. That's the one you should be going to the game.
Right. They need good fan support. And not a heck of a lot of other things going on tonight. So go cheer on the Utah State Aggies. But a young team that's learning a lot. They've been a lot more competitive here the last few weeks. Still a little bit tough to find victories. So they had a reverse sweep of Weber State the other night. So, but for Utah State soccer, maybe a little bit of a chance to send a notice to the voters nationally who knocked them down 3 spots last week. Yeah. Say, hey, we deserve that a little higher ranking. Don't knock us down. Lift us up.
Yeah, 2 games this weekend, one at San Jose State, one at Fresno State. Of course, San Jose State, I think, is winless on the year, so it's a team that you kind of expect them to maybe beat up on. But we'll see. The Aggies have been allowing a few more goals than they were earlier in the season. But we need to take a quick break. Let's go ahead and step aside. When we come back, we'll finish out the first hour here on the Full Court Press.
Have you thought about your furnace lately? Of course not. It's hot outside. Now's a great time to start thinking about replacing it or having it serviced for fall and winter. Advanced Heating and Air will help you get some of the industry's best rebates on a new high-efficient York furnace installed in your home. Or one of Advanced Heating and Air's service professionals can service your furnace for the upcoming winter season. Call today, 752-7272, or schedule a free estimate at advancedheating-ac.com. York, install confidence.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. I'd like to invite you to learn more about us. Since 1997, we've been Utah's premier one-stop shop for home medical equipment. What sets us apart at Alpine Home Medical is the superior level of customer service. We provide home oxygen, CPAPs, wheelchairs, scooters, breast pumps, and so much more. Come on down and get to know us.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit alpinehomemedical.com.
The patio is open. The chips are endless. Drinks on tap. You know it's got to be Cafe Sabor, Cache Valley's best Mexican restaurant, gold winner in the Best of Northern Utah contest. Experience Locals Day every Thursday with a huge burrito, endless chips and soda, only $7.95. That's a complete lunch for just $7.95. Finding any lunch under $10 is nearly impossible. Every Thursday, drinks, chips, and massive burrito, just $7.95. The patio, the sun, the fun at Cafe Sabor in the historic train station on 6th Weston Center in Logan.
It's the Full Court Press, weekday afternoons from 4 to 6 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
As the days get shorter, temperatures will get colder. Be prepared with a stop at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts. For batteries more than 4 years old, stop in. They can test it before it leaves you stranded in the cold. And if you need a new battery, then they'll help you install it. They got snow, ice, and cold weather. Yes, I read this wrong. Snow, ice, and cold weather. They're all hard on your wiper blades. I don't know how to read, Eric. Napa features long-lasting silicone wiper blades from Rain-X, Trico. Stop in for a new set, and they'll even install them for you. A lot of help installing this stuff. Perfect for a guy like me. But just, again, make sure you're prepared for the cold weather as it begins to set in very soon with a stop at your locally owned Preston to Providence Napa Auto Parts locations. So, Eric, to finish out the first hour, we've been talking a little bit of soccer. We mentioned Utah State soccer along with volleyball as they both begin Mountain West play. But Real Salt Lake, they've clinched a spot in the MLS Cup playoffs. And a bit of a bit of a rough stretch. They're trying to adjust to not having Andres Gomez anymore. It's been a bit tough. Their defense hasn't really come along. I think, with some of the guys getting healthier, they're still giving up 2-3 goals in a lot of these games. Drew against, they had a 3-3 draw in a game that I think they were leading 2-0 and then 3-1 at another point. So that was against Portland, a team that's currently, I think, outside the playoff cut line. So kind of tough sledding for RSL. They have the pieces to be a championship caliber team, but not showing it late in the season. But they're going to be in the playoffs. And so at this point, it's just trying to get into form for those playoffs.
Yeah, they had a great summer, great late spring, early summer.
Been undefeated for like a month.
Yeah, they unbeaten for a long, long time. But made some big trades. And now just trying to understand life without some of their guys that they've been relying on. But it's giving other guys opportunities to kind of develop and shine, but hasn't always been easy for this team trying to figure out those new role players on the team.
Yeah, they sit somewhat distant second in the Western standings to LA. Of course, LA has a game in hand. They've played one extra game. So RSL could theoretically, as they have 4 more games in the season, they could maybe bump LA out of that top spot in the West, but likely that RSL will finish anywhere between second and fourth, probably your most likely spots. Is it's pretty packed there between second and, but really all the way to 7. There's only 5 points separating RSL from 7th place Vancouver. But again, RSL is guaranteed to be in the playoffs, no matter what. But anyway, that's going to do it for us in the first hour. We'll be back after this.
This is Catherine Buse with Cache Valley Bank, and we understand that concerns about fraud can weigh heavily on you. Your peace of mind is important to us. That's why we're committed to looking out for you and your family. Our team keeps a vigilant eye on your account. If you ever have concerns or need support, we're just a call or visit away. Whether you need advice or just someone to talk to, our friendly staff is ready to help. We're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors, and we care about your security. Visit your local branch today. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Days get shorter, temperatures get colder. Be prepared with a stop at your local Napa Auto Parts. Snow, ice, and cold weather are all hard on wiper blades. Napa features long-lasting silicone wiper blades from Rain-X and Trico. Stop in for a new set. They'll even help you install them. They'll also help you install a new battery if you need it. Pick up some House diesel treatment and get the case lot pricing, $12 for a half-gallon jug. Be prepared for cold weather and snow with help from your friends at your locally owned Preston to Providence Napa Auto Parts.
This is Kyle at Advanced Door, and we guarantee every garage door we install for a lifetime, parts and labor. That's every door, every spring, every roller, every track, every motor. The entire garage door system guaranteed for a lifetime, parts and labor. We're Advanced Door, and we guarantee you'll be hearing this for a long time. Find out more at advanced-door.com. That's advanced-door.com.
Disasters don't wait for a convenient time. When the unexpected strikes, call the trusted team at Blue Sky. Remember, Blue Sky is that same great ARS team you know and trust.
This is Tom with Blue Sky Restoration. When disaster strikes, whether it's a flood, fire, mold damage, or an unforeseen accident, Blue Sky will clean up, repair, and restore your home or business like it was before. No disaster is too big or too small. For all your restoration needs, you can trust our Blue Sky team.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi. Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Sports Talk Radio, KLGN Logan, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, and online at 1069thefan.com.